This will be a very simple lecture on lesson plans and just to kind of give you a quick overview of lesson plans if anyone has any questions. So I'm just going to show you how I would write just a simple objective for a class. So what class am I teaching? Let's just say it's U.S. history. So I'm teaching U.S. history and I'm going to do an objective for my class. So just brainstorming. This is how I would do this. It'd be like U.S. history. So I know this is 11th grade. And a unit's going to be my 5-day to 10-day topic. So I can do one on World War II. So my daily objective, my lesson plan will be the causes of the war. So looking at this from small to big, my first day of my lesson plan will be the causes of the war. My unit's going to be the World War II. So we're looking at probably a 5-day unit, and I can go from there. So my first will be looking at causes. So for day one, let's just write our objective because that's the goal of this, is just write one simple objective. So the student will. This is population. I'm doing the highlights. You don't do these whenever you're turning in an objective, but this is just to help teach. The student will. And let's go ahead and pick a verb. So I pulled up my Bloom's taxonomy. It moves from easiest to hardest, knowledge to evaluation. So I want to pick a good middle of the road. I could do, just find me a good verb here. I like the word separate or criticize. So I'll do criticize. The student will criticize. So this is my verb. Now I need some content. So the student will criticize what? The student will criticize Alright, so the student will criticize the causes of the war with the Axis power, from the Axis powers perspectives with a minimum, so this is my content. And this is my level of mastery. So we got the student will criticize the causes of the war from the Axis powers perspectives with a minimum of 5 concrete observations per country. So DOK. And Bloom's is analysis. So now I need to find what. So I know this is criticize under the analysis, Bloom's taxonomy verb. So this is a 4th level up objective. So let's see if we can find criticize in the DOK level. And sometimes these verbs are not there. So as you'll see, I got critique or critique. And that's over here as well. I'd probably label this, I would label this a level 3. So you kind of want to sometimes just try to put in the best perspective you can. So it's really up to you. I'd put this as a level 3. And the last thing we need to do is Mississippi framework. So to find our Mississippi framework, we're going to go to Social Studies. This is the framework, so I guess I will need to download it. And we're going to find U.S. history. Which is page 60. Understand the evolution of the American political system? No. Understand major social problems, domestic? Nope. Understand how the global position of the United States? Nope. Nope. Number 3, global affairs. This is obviously number 3 because number 3 would be global affairs. Analyze the fiction. So I'd make it MF3. So Mississippi Framework 3. So there's my objective. Real simple to write. And so I've got I can take the highlights off. So the student will criticize the cause of the war from the Axis powers' perspectives with a minimum of 5 concrete observations per country. The only other, so of course you need the procedures. And you'll do a couple of procedures in there, materials, and the big thing that we always have is assessment. How will I assess this one? I would probably do a teacher rubric. And you do something like that. Now if you need to do a remediation and enrichment, you would make objectives that would probably be on a knowledge level, and you'd probably make an objective that was a little bit harder. So once again, to write one simple objective, you would need to, this is the parts of it: the student will criticize the cause of the war, then you do your remediation, enrichment. A remediation objective is, I'll just give you parentheses. It's an objective that is easier than the original objective. So these are objectives that are, so you would have, if a student nails this objective and does a very good job, then you give them the enrichment. If a student struggles with this objective, then you'd give them remediation. Remediation objective would need to be easier, which would mean you need to slide down the scale of Bloom's. So, not to make this complicated, when you're writing an objective, the student will find your verb, then put your content in, and then put your level of mastery. Examples of levels of masteries: at a minimum of 70%. And you can put any percent you want to without any errors, with a maximum of 3 errors. So you have all kinds of examples of levels of mastery that you can put in there. So this is a real simple way to make lesson plans. Now many people always ask, what format do I need to do after that? You can do any way you want to, but remember you're going to need objectives, procedures, materials, and an assessment. Hope this helped out. But this is how I write objectives, a very simple way. And what you're going to need is I would open up a couple of windows. I'd have myself a Microsoft Word document. I'd have my balloons and my DOK up. Real simple to do. And I'd have my Mississippi Department of Education curriculum up. If you have any questions, just send me an email. Thanks so much. I've opened up too many windows.